Brand new box office show here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Tenenberg. Today I'm breaking down the box office of this previous weekend, which was May the 17th to the 19th, 2024. We're also going to look at the 2024 domestic and worldwide numbers, as well as previewing the final box office weekend, or really second to last, sorry, of the month of May. Really, it's the last full weekend for the month of May, where we hit June next month. So my name is Passenberg. Welcome back to Max Talks Movies. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. I talk all things movies, TV shows, and box office every single day here on the channel. So please subscribe, ring the bell if you're new. Comment down below. What did you see this past weekend? When did you see this upcoming weekend? How will Memorial Day weekend factor into the box office? And also, guys, please like the video. The thumbs up button down below really helps support the channel. So please hit the thumbs up when the like on this YouTube video. So without further ado, let's get into this past weekend's box office, which was from, as I said, May 17th to May 19th. And again, number one from Paramount is If, in its opening weekend, opening to 33.7 million. Now, this movie did drop below expectations. I think people were hoping around 40, 45 million for the opening, and you're seeing a lot over the last couple of months where Hollywood and the industry has their expectations, and a lot of these movies have been going under these expectations. So I do think moving forward from an industry point of view, I think at least to create some better buzz around some of these movies being good at the box office, maybe not being so overly confident on some of these movies doing well in theaters. If, while it did not do well from a critic's perspective, has done amazingly from the audiences. Very high score on Rotten Tomatoes and an A cinema score. So there's clearly really good word of mouth for If, but its biggest problem is that another family movie is hitting theaters. An IP family movie is hitting theaters this upcoming weekend. So I'm not sure how If can sustain itself. There's two big movies coming out this weekend, and one of them is a family movie. So I think If could have a pretty big second weekend drop in the 60-70% range, which would not bode well for this movie. But still, John Krasinski, 33 million is very solid for this movie. But still, not the industry wanted to at least have a 4 in front of it. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is number 2 in its second weekend, 56% drop. So again, it's important not to be in that 60-70% range for a second weekend drop, and Apes avoids it with a $25.4 million second weekend. It's already at the century mark now here domestically, 100 million. This movie is following right along the same path as the previous film in the franchise, War for the Planet of the Apes, back in 2017, which usually would crack around 500 million worldwide. The best movie by far in the franchise is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which finished with 710 million. So I don't think this movie will obviously get there, but it could go along the same page as War for the Planet of the Apes. But still, this franchise is alive for Disney and really 20th Century Fox. And it's shocking that we've not heard an official sequel announcement yet. But again, we're 2 weeks in. Let's see when that gets announced. The other movie that opened this past weekend was The Strangers Chapter 1 from Lionsgate, opening to $11.8 million. Yes, it's still an IP-based horror film, but still, after seeing Tarot in the top 5 over the last 2 weekends, and now Strangers Chapter 1, no matter what time of year it is, people want to see horror movies in theaters. And 11.8 is a really good opening, I think, for this movie. If you're not familiar, this is Strangers Chapter 1. They've already shot Strangers Chapter 2 and 3 back to back. So Strangers Chapter 2 is supposed to come out later this year, and Chapter 3 is supposed to kick off next year. So we haven't heard any momentum. It got absolutely bashed by both fans and critics. So we'll see how Strangers Chapter 1 does from a theatrical perspective, really with Chapter 2 and 3. At number 4 from Universal is The Fall Guy in its third weekend. Fall Guy getting to 8.3 million. It's a 39% drop. Good drop for its third weekend, but still only up to 62.8 million domestically. This movie will not get to 100 million, which is a huge misfire. Again, Fall Guy was supposed to be the kickoff to the summer movie season, and it has not. It's already hitting digital very soon, if not already hit digital. Just bad news all the way around. Again, once it hits digital, which it should in the next week, then it will then down the line in the next month or two, then get to Peacock with no extra price. But again, disappointing for Universal. This movie cost nearly $190 million without advertising. And it turned out to be a total misfire and a bomb from Universal here. And wrapping up the top five is Challengers, which has already hit digital. Just hit digital this past last week. And even though it was already on digital last week, Challengers hangs in the top five, dropping 34% in its fourth weekend. $2.8 million, $43 million, another movie that cost $90 million without advertising, only getting 43 domestically. Both those movies not successful at the box office, but I think this movie more than Fall Guy, I don't think Zendaya is hurt by at all by this movie, especially if she can get an Oscar nomination down the road for this film. So we shall see, but Challengers already on digital, but still hung in the top five. This also tells you that this movie barely hanging off the Amy Winehouse biopic. When we get to the overall numbers this year domestically, as I said, Dune Part 2, still the biggest movie. We keep saying this every week. We'll see if Dune Part 2 can be topped at some point during the summer, but 282.1, and also Dune Part 2 officially on Max as I'm recording this video today. Godzilla X Kong is at number 2 with 194, just missed that $200 million milestone. That movie's also been doing very well in digital and will be on Max very soon. Kung Fu Panda 4 at 192 and number 3. The rest of the $100 million club includes Ghostbusters Frozen Empire and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So far, 5 movies have hit the $100 million mark, with Planet of the Apes being the first summer movie to get to $100 million domestically. The rest of the top 10, 6 through 10, is Bob Marley, One Love, Mean Girls, Civil War, The Beekeeper, and The Fall Guy. Fall Guy at number 10 so far this year. When we get to the overall worldwide numbers, Dune Part 2, 711 million is the number to beat so far this year. That's worldwide, both the international gross combining with the domestic gross. Number 2 is Godzilla X Kong at 563. Kung Fu Panda 4 is number 3 at 536 million. Chinese films are 4 through 7, and then wrapping up the top 10 is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, number 8, 236 million worldwide. Number 9 is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, already on digital, 199 million, so just missing off on that $200 million gross. And Bob Marley, One Love, is at number 10 with 176. So upcoming weekend, this is the last weekend, really is, for the month of May, as we're going to head into a pretty big, as we said, the summer is pretty big so far this year. We'll see if they can get back on track. 2 big movies hitting theaters. First will be Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Again, there's been no Mad Max film since 2015's Mad Max Fury Road. Is this franchise alive? This is a big movie for both Anya Taylor-Joy and Chris Hemsworth, both outside, again, Hemsworth outside of the Thor franchise has not been a box office easy winner, and Anya Taylor-Joy's first big tentpole movie leading role. So we'll see. I know The Menu was a very small movie. This is a big movie. Can she join movie star status? We'll see. The coming weekend, also coming out this weekend, is the new Garfield movie starring Chris Pratt and Samuel L. Jackson. Chris Pratt, on or in the voiceover, always brings in some boffo box office numbers. Garfield's playing, which should also really hurt if this upcoming weekend. But as I said, there's not really anything coming out the following weekend, next weekend. No major releases as of now hitting theaters on May 31st, which is the last weekend of the month of May. So next week, we'll preview the busy month of June, which we'll see Pixar get on the board. Sony has a Bad Boys movie. We're going to break it all down next week. So stay tuned. More videos coming soon here on Max Talks Movies.